Hey guys, and welcome to my August wrap-up. For the month of August I was able to read 11 books and I was in the middle of the 12th book when the month was over. I obviously did not or was not able to finish all the books that I wanted to finish that I showed on my August TBR because let's face it, that was never an option. There were too many books. Two of the books that I wasn't able to finish or even start or put in my plan were Fragments by Dan Wells, the second book in the Partials trilogy, as well as Afterworlds by Scott Westerfeld. I'm looking at it because it's right there. By Scott Westerfeld, those two books were humongous and I just was not able to do it because August was a pretty busy month for me, so even with the 11 I'm pretty happy. So let's get on with it. I was able to read a total of, out of the 11, I read 4 of them were non-review books, which is pretty good. That's exciting. The first book is Open Road Summer by Emery Lord. I got this for review from Bloomsbury and I really enjoyed it. It was a cute contemporary. I was expecting more fluff, but it wasn't, so that was different and I did like that. And I gave it 4 stars. There's a music theme in here because the main protagonist's best friend is a singer, and the main protagonist strikes up a relationship with the opening act of her best friend, and it was a really good book, 4 stars. The next book that I read is Unmarked by Cami Garcia, the second book in the Legion book. I have 2 favorites for this month. The first one is Unmarked. I gave this obviously 5 out of 5 stars. They're demon hunters. I know a lot of people said, oh, the synopsis sounds like Supernatural. I've never watched Supernatural. I've only watched the first episode and I did not like it. But it's different. I feel like, especially with the whole Legion and the 5 teenagers that are now hunting demons and such, this second book in this trilogy did not disappoint at all. I was addicted. I loved it. I love the main protagonists. I love every single one of the 5 characters. There's a lot of character depth for all of them, and I just love their relationship with each other, so 5 out of 5 stars. I will definitely recommend this to anyone, Unbreakable being the first book and Unmarked being the second one, and I cannot wait for the third one. Next is Falling Into Place by Amy Zhang. This is another contemporary. I've read a lot of contemporaries this month actually, and this one was really good. As you can see, I have some tabs over here that are falling. I need better tabs. And I cried a lot reading this book. I'm actually part of a read-along / live show that will be hosted in October, meaning the live show, and the read-along is actually starting on September 9th with the release of this book. And I really loved it. I loved the physics infused in there. It was very unique and refreshing. I also loved the non-linear timeline and the way that the plot was introduced. It's just mysterious, and I wouldn't say it was addicting. I gave it 4 out of 5 stars, not a full 5, but I did cry a lot and it was a very emotional read. The next book is Salt and Storm by Kindle Culper. This was one of my favorite upcoming book covers in 2014. It is beautiful. I just love all the purple and I love the gold rope and everything about it was perfect. Unfortunately, the book itself was not. I ended up giving it 1 out of 5 stars. I pretty much halfway or 2/3 way in, I started skimming through the book because I did not like it. So this book is about a girl who is destined to become a witch. Her grandmother is a witch. Her mother fled and did not want to become a witch, so she's next in line. She can interpret dreams, and one night, after several years after her mom actually snags her away from her grandmother and lets her live in this castle with her stepdad or whatever, she gets a dream and she dreams her death pretty much. And the only way that she can avoid this fate is if she actually becomes officially a witch, because royal witches never die. Or can never die. So it's her quest trying to find how to break the spell because she can't go to her grandmother because her mom put a binding spell on her, and she meets this person, instant love, and she tries to break the spell, and she's searching for her grandmother, and it was just really boring. I wanted magic. There was no magic in there in this whole book. Nothing. It was just the girl whining. I didn't like it. 1 out of 5 stars, unfortunately. Next is back to the contemporary world with Don't Touch by Rachel M. Wilson. I love this book. I gave it 4.5 out of 5 stars only because I feel like the beginning and the end were the beginning was too slow, the ending was a bit rushed, but it's only worth taking off half a star because it was so good. And talks about a girl, I'm pretty sure she has OCD in terms of the way that she thinks. She would think that, she says, if no one can touch me or I don't touch anyone, then my parents will get together. Or step on a crack, you'll break your mother's back. Touch another person's skin and dad's gone for good. So she has these thoughts and she has to follow these rules, and she feels that if something bad happens, then it's because she didn't follow the rules she set in her mind. And this new one is when her dad left, and she thinks that if she can't touch anyone or no one can touch her skin, like skin on skin skinship, then her dad will come back to them. And it gets really bad because she starts going to this art school where she's an aspiring actress. She gets cast to play Ophelia in the play or school's production of Hamlet, and obviously that requires touching and all that. I loved this book. I loved how real it is and that it didn't gloss over mental illnesses. I loved the characters in this book, the friends that she meets, like their clique was so awesome. Every single one of them was amazing. Her best friend that she was estranged from earlier on, and then she meets her in the school again. I thought that there was something going to be weird going on between them, but no, she was like a true best friend. And then the love interest, Peter, who I love people, best male love interest called Peter, like Peter from To All the Boys. But this one was really, really good. 4.5 out of 5 stars. The next book is Rites of Passage by Joey N. Hensley, and this book is the second book of my favorites of August. I love this book so much, gave it 5 out of 5 stars. I need a sequel, like I need it, like I even told the author, I'm like, please let there be a sequel. But even without it, it's still a really good book, and it talks about a girl who her brother dares her to enroll into the military academy, Denmark Military Academy, but her brother dies, and she takes it upon herself that she will fulfill the dare because apparently there's this thing between them where they always dare each other to do things. She's a military brat, so her dad's like in a really high position in the military, her older brother too, and also her other brother, so they're all in the military. And you know how it is, feeling of being a part of something, so she does enroll, and it's the first class of girls. So they get a lot of hate, a lot of crap. There are only 5 girls that enroll. A lot of crap from the upperclassmen, a lot of people that don't want them, not just upperclassmen but really high positions, and there's like this secret society of men that are set against any girl enrolling and like just changing the rules. So she gets a lot of crap and hazing, and I felt really bad for her, but she's a kick-butt protagonist. I love her. She is strong and doesn't take no for an answer, and she has all my respect. So I loved it, loved the love interest too. I loved everything about this book. Definitely a must read for everyone. So 5 out of 5 stars. Before going into my non-review books, I'll show you the book that I'm currently reading, which is a review book, and it is The Jewel by Amy Ewing. By yesterday, I only managed to read 100 pages. I'm now at like 160. So I only read 100 pages in August. And it took me a while because after finishing Don't Touch, I was on a reading slump for like 2 days because I read Falling Into Place, Isla, Rites of Passage, and then Don't Touch. So it was all like 4 awesome contemporaries, and then I started this, which is sort of a dystopian setting. So it took me a while to get into it, but now that I am, I'm really, really enjoying it. And I'm really excited to see where it goes. I didn't hear amazing things. I heard both. I heard amazing things about it, but then I heard things like insta-love and like it ruined the whole book and stuff. So I'm keeping an open mind to see where it goes. I'm moving on to my non-review books. As I mentioned, there are 4 in total. The first is Spellbound by Rachel Hawkins. This is the 3rd and last book in the Hex Hall trilogy. I was buddy reading this with Jasper and Violet, the whole trilogy actually, and we managed to finish it, so I'm really happy for that. And this book was my least favorite. I don't know, I feel like Hex Hall was my favorite, and then the other 2 were not up to par with Hex Hall. I don't know. Here I felt like the humor was too forced. Violet and Jasper agree with me. The humor was too forced. The ending was too rushed. I ended up giving it, I think, 3 out of 5 stars. but I'm just happy that I'm done with this trilogy. The next 3 books are all part of the Contemporary Lovers read-along for the month of August, the first being my reread of Anna and the French Kiss. I have already read this like 3 or 4 times, so this is reread number, I don't know. And I loved it as much as the first time. This book never gets old, love it so much, 5 out of 5 stars. Obviously it's a favorite, but it's like I'm repeating myself, always putting it as a favorite. Everyone should know that this is a favorite, so loved it. The next book that I wasn't sure I was gonna read, but then I'm like, you know what, I'm going to, is Lola and the Boy Next Door. And the only reason why is because I read this the day it came out, like in 2011? Yes, it came out in 2011, I think. September 30th or 29th in 2011. And I was so disappointed compared with Anna, because I was expecting an Anna doppelganger, I guess, which is not really a good thing. So I was like, oh, I'm not gonna like it. I didn't like it that much. But when I read it, or reread it this month, I loved it. It's so different from Anna, and now that I don't expect it to be as good as Anna, I just loved it. If you just took this separately and didn't like remove the author's name from Stephanie Perkins to some other unknown author and you told me to read it, I'll be like, oh my god, this book is amazing. But it's because of the expectations from Anna, it kind of overshadowed this book. But now that I don't have these expectations, I loved it. Gave it 4.5 out of 5 stars only because the beginning was kind of slow. But other than that, this was a really, really good book. And obviously the last book that I've been waiting almost 3 years for is out, and it is Isla and the Happily Ever After. And I read this. I read this like a week and a half after it came out because I don't like reading at the same time as like a million other people, in case I would read any spoilers or whatever. So I did read it. It was really cute. Not as good as Anna, but I wasn't expecting that. I loved how different each book is, but then the characters do, everything ties back together. Love point zero at the end, that like I literally gasped out loud. And I love Josh and Isla's story. The only slight thing that I did not like, and it's like a personal thing, is the time they spent apart. There was so much time that was spent apart that I was like, but I don't want that. I want them to be together. Like that's why I loved Anna so much, because they're there all the time. And I guess that's what was missing in Lola and also Isla. So I'm like, oh, good. But it's still a good book, 4.5 out of 5 stars. The last book that I read, which I don't have because I let my friend borrow, is Mindy Kaling's Is Everyone Hanging Out Without Me and Other Concerns. I love that book. It's a non-fiction humor book. Mindy Kaling is writer, actor, producer of The Office, as well as The Mindy Project. So she's like the triple threat. And I love her humor. This book was no exception. It was really good. I gave it 4 out of 5 stars. It's just because I'm not really used to non-fiction, but it's totally worth the read. So these are all the books that I read in the month of August, 11 books, and currently in the middle of 1 other. And I'm really excited for all the books that I'll be reading in the month of September. There are a lot. Another huge stack of books that I will show you in my next video. Let me know if you guys have read any of these and what you think of them, and if you want any reviews of any of the ones that I've showed you. I already filmed a spoiler discussion of these 3. Very short. I just wanted to document my thoughts of the books when I finished Isla. I'll be uploading that soon. And we also have the live show for these 3 books on September 6th, 7 p.m. Eastern Time on my channel. So check any of these out, and I hope to see you guys in the next video. Bye!